everyone, I'm Allie with PotomacBeads, and today's Better Beader episode is going to go over pliers. So even if you're not doing wire working, it's still a great idea to kind of know what pliers are what. There are simple pliers that I would say are essential to jewelry making no matter what kind of beading you're doing, and then some other specialty pliers that I thought I would show you and give my opinions on what's good, what's bad, and what they're used for. I have it all kind of written down, so if you see me glancing down, it's so I don't miss any and make this as informative as possible. When it comes to pliers and buying pliers, you want to keep in mind you get what you pay for. Some more expensive pliers might be a little bit better quality than some lesser expensive pliers. However, there are some that we have that I love, and they're $6, $7 a piece, and I use them regularly. Every once in a while, you do want to check about the maintenance of your pliers. Some different plier brands, you can actually get them sharpened, send them back to get them fixed, and get some special attention to your tools, especially if you're doing wire working or some jewelry making, because they are essential to that craft. The number one tool that everybody's going to kind of be familiar with is going to be that chain nose or needle nose pliers. When you're doing jewelry making, the most important thing is no matter kind of what jewelry you're doing, they're going to be essential for kind of holding the wire, making bends and turns, and for helping and aiding in some wrapping and folding down. You want to make sure when you're doing jewelry making that you do not have any ridges that are in the pliers. Many pliers will have those ridges inside, and that's going to be more used for electrical work and stuff like that. So if you have them with ridges inside, especially if they've come from a major craft store and were included in your jewelry making kit, take them back and do not use them. They will end up making lines on your wire. If you're using them for a flat crimp, they can hurt the actual crimp bead, and generally speaking, they're not going to be the greatest for your jewelry making. The fun thing to look at when you're looking at these chain nose or needle nose pliers is how tiny they get at the tip. There's different kinds as far as spring-loaded and then other jawls as well, but these are going to be the most popular. Even when I'm doing threading for threading a needle, when I use my thread burner, I actually flatten out the end of my thread with the chain nose pliers to make it easier to thread and put inside the needle. Also, sometimes when the project gets tight, I do take my chain nose pliers and kind of pull the needle through the project so that way I get the needle through without hurting my hands. So even if you're just doing bead weaving, thread and needle, doing some embroidery, it's still great to have these on hand because you never know when you're going to use them. Also, they're great for opening and closing rings. So if you have a pair of earrings that you need to kind of open and close those rings, that's what you're going to use those chain nose pliers for. Now, that being said, there's also a bent chain nose pliers. I actually prefer the bent chain nose pliers. You can see the bend in them. A lot of people will prefer those because you're able to get in closer to the wire. So when you're going in to do kind of tiny little turns on different things, those bent chain nose, which bend to the side, are going to be a little bit easier to work with, and you can kind of see where you're working on more so. I would do the same thing when it comes to flattening out thread or doing any twisting or turning with the bent flat nose. If I had to have one plier, it would actually be the bent chain nose rather than the chain nose plier. Some people hate them, some people love them. I love my bent chain nose pliers. So that's just a different shape to that same jaw of the bent nose. You may also get confused when it comes to different pliers that are going to be called flat nose pliers. These are actually nylon jaw flat nose. The flat nose are a little bit wider. They tend to be rectangular in shape. The nylon jaw makes it so that it doesn't make any marks on your wire, helps you to straighten out thinner wire when you're working on it and kind of working to straighten it out. You can also use it to help straighten out and hold a needle if you are a person that does thread work and works with thread. You can see mine are pretty bit up, but you can actually interchange these jaws. The most things that I use the flat nose pliers for, I'm going to use the nylon jaw. I tend not to use the flat nose pliers that much, but they are really handy for when you're opening jump rings. So if you have any jump rings kind of that you need to open up, that's what the flat nose pliers are going to be used for. You can also use a combination of two chain nose pliers or a chain nose and a flat nose. Some of the 5 tool kits that you can get come with one of each, and that's helpful so that way you have 2 to open and close jump rings. Moving on from kind of the chain nose and the flat nose and that bent chain nose, you have the other tool that I say is essential to doing beading. This is the round nose pliers. Yes, you can make turns and make loops with the chain nose pliers, but they're never going to turn out super nice because the round nose pliers, which get smaller at the tip and wider towards the actual plier portion, are going to be essential for making loops. They are round the whole way through, and then they have one little section in the middle that they're going to touch. These round nose pliers are going to make your perfect loops. Without the round nose pliers, if you try to do loops at the tops of your earrings or with thicker wire doing chain link, or even making little loops as I did here in these bezel set earrings, the round nose pliers is going to be essential. A little tip and a trick for the round nose pliers, you can mark with a little bit of permanent marker and then get it off with alcohol wipes exactly where you're going to hold for your round nose pliers. So if you're doing a piece that you want the loops to all be the exact same size, you can make a marking on your round nose pliers to know exactly where to hold and what size loop to make. After round nose pliers, I just wanted to show you some other pliers you may be familiar with. This is a crimping pliers. The crimping pliers, when you're looking at the eye of it, it has two little indentations. The first indentation is going to be used to make a little, basically, bend in your crimp tube. From there, the second one, you turn it over and you're going to use it to bend your crimp tube in half when you're working with it. I tend to do a lot of flat crimping with my chain or needle nose pliers and not use the crimping pliers because I like a crimp cover to go on it. But the crimping pliers, if you do want to do a crimp bead and have it exposed and not have a crimp cover on, go ahead and check out the crimping pliers as well. Pretty inexpensive. You want to make sure that you have the right size crimp tube or crimp bead to work with them. Usually a 1.5 to a 2 millimeter is going to work perfectly inside these crimping tools. From there, we kind of get into the variation and variety of pliers. So the other one that's going to be essential, I have one in the package and out of the package, is going to be the wire cutters. The wire cutters, there's many different kinds of wire cutters that are going to cut more flush or kind of have an angled head to it and have a difference in the different kind of ways that they're held, whether or not they have that jaw there. And sometimes even you'll have like rosary pliers, which is a round nose pliers with an actual cutter attached. The cutter pliers come again kind of what you pay for. And I usually mark, you can see this one says hard wire. So only use these cutters to cut hard wire. My sparkle tool ones, I know that I can get really, really close with those to the ends of the wire, cut down and make really nice smooth cuts with these wire cutters. You're always gonna hold it so that the wire and the project is down and you can see that little kind of cave or that little triangle that's in there. That's going to allow you to get as close as possible to the piece and also see the extra kind of coming out. There's also going to be wire cutters that are used for certain things like memory wire. So if you have memory wire and you want to cut it, you definitely don't want to use ones that you're using to cut, say 24, 26, even 22 gauge wire. I have the separate ones there for then 20, 16, 18 gauge. And then you have your memory wire cutters. The memory wire cutters open up and do just a flush cut, basically both sides, and they're made specifically to work with a heavier wire like this. They don't allow you to get really close, but they are spring loaded so that way they have that nice cut that happens, and it makes it really, really easy to cut that memory wire. So it's a memory wire with spring inside that's going to allow you to cut easier. If you don't want to invest in memory wire cutters, you can also check out back in the shed, and you may have a pliers that will work really well with memory wire. Or if you have to use those same pliers, go ahead and do it with the hard wire pliers that you're doing rather than ones that you're using for more fine work. When I did this Gemtopia necklace here, I used 26 and 24 gauge wire, so I would definitely be using my smaller pair and my ones that I keep for smaller, those Sparkle Tool Set cutters. When I'm working with a thicker wire here, like this 18 gauge wire, I'm going to use a heavier duty cutter, and you can actually see kind of that spring loading when you're working with it. When it comes to wire cutters, generally speaking, they're only going to have a certain lifespan, so don't expect them to work and go forever. There are Lindstrom pliers and some other brands too that they can sharpen, but generally speaking, I've been really happy with my $7 to $20 pliers, and I just know eventually I may need to replace those pliers. Going in then to even more specialty pliers, we have the wire wrapping pliers here, which have basically a different sort of edge. They have a rounded edge in here, and then they have basically a round nose pliers that goes and makes, kind of can do bail making. It can be used for rings, it can be used to turn the wire. So it has that little loop and then helps to hold and make nice loops along. Honestly, I tend not to use this concave round plier that much, or the wire wrapping pliers. It's used sometimes for making small jump rings or doing wire kind of wrapping. The lower jaw kind of steps up instead, and it provides usually 3 to 4 constant diameters to work with. So that's going to be kind of the wire working pliers. Again, it's a specialty plier. I don't usually have it that much. And then the same is that bail making pliers. This one in particular makes a 6 or an 8.5 millimeter bail, which you can use to turn over some of even the different links. So that may give you an idea. But also you can use it to do wire wrapping and to make your own jump rings or to make your own split ring style as well. I tend usually to do this and do my wrapping just with my hands because I'm not working with super heavy duty wire. If you are using a brass connector like this to make a bail out of, which is a great idea, that's when these do come in handy because sometimes they're hard to turn with your round nose pliers because they require a little bit more strength. Going in then and looking at the specialty pliers, kind of another specialty pliers, is going to be the idea of a tweezers. I wanted to include this because this is a bent tweezers. It's used often for kind of picking up smaller stones. You can also use a little crystal picker up here, but that's a nice tool, even though it's not a pliers, to have because it kind of works with that same metal pliers when you're working with it. I did mention rosary pliers. I didn't even bring a pair back with me, but the rosary pliers are going to usually have a smaller round nose section, and then here back at the back they have a wire cutters. I honestly, even though it's convenient to have one plier in my hand, I do not like them because you cannot get the cut very, very close. So I tend to not even really keep or sell the wire cutters that much because I'm not that excited to use them. Keep in mind, again, when it comes to the pliers, you're gonna gather pliers along as you go, and you want to, if you can, mark the pliers, what you're going to be using them for. Keep specialty pliers all in one section. Have those nylon jaws if you are going to be pulling through thin wire or working to kind of flatten out a section. And keep in mind what you're doing with your pliers. So if you're just the casual beater that just needs to open and close jump rings and works a little bit with maybe thinner gauge wires, really you just need 3 sets of pliers. You are going to need your chain nose pliers, your round nose pliers, and then also your wire cutters. Keep in mind, again, if you're having them for different uses, you may want to have a whole different set of pliers for that thicker wire, for wire working, and then all those specialty pliers that you can add as you feel a need for them. You don't need them to start. Again, those 3 pliers that I just held up are the essentials that I would say every person that makes jewelry needs, whether or not you're doing bead embroidery, if you're doing wire working, or even if you're doing some simple resin or other designs. Make sure to have these 3 pliers on hand. Other than that, the other pliers you can kind of gather as you go, and remember, you kind of get what you spend for when it comes to pliers. If you have any questions about pliers whatsoever, suggestions for other beaters, or questions, you can go ahead and comment below the video. It's great to build the community. These Better Beader episodes are made, again, to make you a better beater and to help out that beading community. Again, as always, you can subscribe to this YouTube channel to get regular updates from us when we have new products, go live, have Better Beader episodes, and new tutorials for you. As always, you can get any of the supplies that you need at PotomacBeads.com as well as PotomacBeads.eu. Thanks so much for watching, everybody, and have fun playing and using and figuring out the different uses for your pliers.